I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Pills to make the man, but that poison's gonna chew you from the inside out. So right now, say it with your chest now, say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time, it's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time, it's my time to ride it out. It's your time, oh. Cheers to all the haters, cause you proved to me that rising to the top was my destiny. And you can see whatever from behind me, but I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly,
All right, so let's give this another try. Let me check out everything and see how we looking on Facebook. Good morning, everybody. I had to step away for a second. So if you're on Facebook and YouTube, just give me a thumbs up if everything is looking and sounding good on your end. I know my audio people really weren't affected by that because that's like a whole different platform. And for whatever reason, they just don't have those kind of issues. And, you tell me. Good morning to you. Let me double check here. Sorry about this to my my Spreaker folks. But who knows what the hell it is. It could be today's cover art. You know what I'm saying? They get sensitive about certain things. But let me see here. Let me double check. Let's see. Good morning, Mrs. Love Being Black. She said, so you on Facebook? Nope, she's on YouTube. So let me double check again, folks. Okay, great. She says, looking good on YouTube. Please come out, son. Evening photo shoot. Is that right? No, that's right. TGIF Nate and Choppers. I feel you. Everybody's on YouTube right now. I don't know what's up. Hold on, let me double check on something. Let me see here. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's try that way. And then we'll come back. See if that works. Good morning to you. So if you're just tuning in, you're wondering like, Nate, what do you fumble around trying to do? I'm trying to make sure that our show gets up on Facebook this morning. Oh man, we've got over 3,000 people just following the page. Great. It's great. Let me see here. But for whatever reason, I'm just not seeing it. We'll have to just work on that as we go because I don't want to slow the show down too much more than I already have. If you're on Facebook, everybody's on YouTube. I can see the icon that you're on right now. Everybody's on YouTube, so I don't know what's up with our Facebook feed right now. Don't know. Let me see. Oh shit! I can know how to do that. Oh, okay. Great. Not sure. Again, I can't tell you. I do not know what the deal is. 100%. Hey, good morning to you. Here I am. I don't know what the deal is. I couldn't tell you. Not while I'm on the air. I have to get off the air and take a look at some things, and then we can try to get it together. But good morning to you. Thank you for being here. What's going on? Yeah, I'm checking it again. I just don't see it either. I don't know. Ain't no telling, man, these folks. Ain't no telling. You know how they like to do. I must have got put on the list eventually. You know what's bound to happen. So we'll just have to deal with it and just rock on YouTube. And listen, okay, I still don't see it. It's very strange. Let me see. Yeah, that's very strange. I don't know what that is. I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. Man, that's not as much fun. But hey, she said she's gonna check right now. What the deuce is going on? What's up? What's up? Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Mighty Choppers. Good morning to you, Kush. Good morning to you. I mean, I couldn't tell you. It must be Facebook doing Facebook. Who knows? They might be having some issues right now. You never know. No platform is perfect. They could be having some technical difficulties. Those kind of things do happen. So, we'll give them some latitude until I can get off the air and kind of figure it out. That's one of the things you got to love about being on multiple platforms, is because if one goes down, you can always be on another. And I'm thinking about I'm thinking, since we have these issues with Facebook, I've had to sort of think around it and come up with some strategies as to, for not just for my show, but for all the shows that we're doing right now. So we don't run into these same issues. And I love Facebook. Facebook can be so useful. You can connect with all kinds of people. Facebook Lives I checked it, Mrs. Love Being Black is not up right now. But what we're dealing with right now is an opportunity to teach and to learn a little something. So if you're a content creator, I mean, for me, having your own website that you can use as a launching pad for whatever your content is so key. And we're dealing with it right now with the Facebook issue. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I joke around with it. I don't know exactly what the issue is. But that's the thing about being on somebody else's platform. That's why I tell content creators, should you have your own website? Sure, you should. Because really what I could do is I could run the show from nathanivy.com, right? Still using maybe some third-party support, and then use Facebook just for promotional reasons. So people don't have to go and listen to the show on Facebook. They can go to my website and do it. And I think that's the direction I want to go in, just because look at what's happening. You keep running into these kind of issues here, and it's just really about migration. It's just really about teaching people where you are. But we got a call on the line. Let's go back. Hey, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, Mr. Ivy, this is Tabitha calling back. I can't get you on Facebook, but I went to Spreaker and I can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm on
so
YouTube
I'll
too.
Take what I can get.
Okay, I'm on YouTube too. Nathan Ivy EY.
Oh, I'm going to YouTube.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
That's Tabitha. That's the first time she's called in that I can remember. It's great to hear her voice. I got to make sure I lock her in. But so that's another for content creators. I mean, having your own website to use as your launching pad, as your primary space, you never give that up. When content creators are thinking like, should I get a website or should I just do it here? Depending on the nature of your business. But for what I'm doing, I think, having that as a backup and an opportunity and as an option is always best. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I ended the show. We came back. I could just, let me see. And Facebook hasn't sent me any messages or anything like that. They don't always do that. Sometimes they'll just take your shit down and block you or something. And then there's something else that happens that they'll let you know sometime later. But let's get to it. Also, the Democrat endorsements for school board came out. The Democrat endorsements for school board came out. And could be some surprises. You might be surprised. Who got endorsed, who didn't? We'll talk about that as well today. And right now, in terms of video, we're just on YouTube because Facebook is tripping right now. Let me double check and see. Like I said, I haven't received any messages from Facebook. Sometimes they'll send you a message saying, hey, bruh, we got a problem. But that hasn't happened as I'm looking at all my messages right now. So I don't know. I can't tell you. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. So I've checked all my messages again. I could not tell you. It's very disappointing. Let me see here. Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? Hold on. Just because of the nature of what's going on right now, I'm gonna click that off again and we'll try it again and we'll see if that works. So hopefully we can get it right this morning. But until that happens, the show goes on. Don't forget, Edna Howell is back, Straight Talk Live, on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. And, Edna's back in her bag. She's doing what she do. And she loves each and every show she has a guest on. And they talk about issues that you might find interesting. So if you're up on a Sunday morning, I mean, They say everything is cyclical, right? She was on the air for about 11 years as the most iconic host of Straight Talk. And now she's back in the digital age. And I want you to, if you're up on Sundays, check her out. Check her out. Lift her up as we get these shows started. You know what I'm saying? We'll do our part, but, your help is always appreciated. Brent Rice, Facebook is tripping. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I don't know. I didn't realize until the show got started. So good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'll try it again. So I'll keep trying to get us back on. But something tells me that until I get off, I'm not going to know. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. The show's been taken down. Why? I don't know. I could not tell you. Good morning to you. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me try this again. Let me try it again. And we'll see if that works. Good morning to you. Let me see. I'm going to jump on Facebook and see if we're here. Let me see. Nope. Still not there. So I could not tell you. I don't know. I don't like the way that looks. That's not looking good at all. I didn't get the Facebook notification that you was going live, right? I don't know. Again, I'll probably find out as soon as I get off. I'll probably get a message or something like that. So it is what it is. Good morning to you. Let me see. Let me check on Spreaker. Yeah, my Spreaker people is cool though. Brenda writes, happy Friday. Ray writes, good morning. She writes, grand risings all. Hey, Renee is in the house. She writes, good morning, everyone. Brandy writes, good morning. Happy Friday. The Politically Petty Show writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag flows ready to eat for everybody. Hashtag spay and neuter all Gilligans. Busters and Tim Scott impersonators. Hashtag TGIF. That's a mouthful, and I agree with you. Jericho writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. Jericho writes, Facebook has issues. Well, the show must go on. Grand Poobah writes, Facebook tripping this morning. Grand Rises, Nate and the Choppers. Kareem Moffitt for school board. That was a Ray. Renee writes, so let me know when you teach that class about using their website as a primary space. Oh, for sure. Sure. Mike writes, TGIF. I just pretty much said it. Like, if you're a content creator, you cannot rely primarily to put your content in other people's hands 100% of the time, because again, look at what's happened with Facebook. I don't know what it is. It could be system wide. I have no idea. I'm not going to assume that it's something particularly targeted for me. That'd be very narcissistic and arrogant. And I have no evidence if that's true or not. So we'll find out. But for content creators, just think about the time, the energy, the expense that you put into creating, and then you take that and you put it in somebody else's hands 100%. It's just not smart. So everybody's content is different. Like, some people's content just might be best for Instagram. It might just be best for Facebook. That might be a great platform for what you do, depending on the nature of it. Cool. But you always got to have that primary source. If you're doing content of this nature, where, it's an option for you to do what you do. So the point I was making, Renee, is I could very well, and I've been thinking about this more and more, just run everything live from NathanIB.com, for now, and then use Facebook to promote with a link. So rather than watching on Facebook, you just hit the link from Facebook and it takes you to my website. And that way, I don't have to worry about Facebook issues. Now, you still got to worry about internet and network and all the kind of things that are under the hood of a website when you're doing streaming and things like that. Thousands of folks are coming through on a daily basis, but it'd be different. Durkins writes, what happened, Nate? I don't know. Facebook notifications was taken down. I got it. Wendy writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Wendy. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm on I'm on Send Digital Media's page right now, looking at it. Hold on, let me see here. I might have got a notification. No notifications. No notifications. Nope. Nope. What is his name? I'm reading something here that doesn't make me happy. Cincinnati nightclub owner pleads guilty to tax and firearm charges. The founder of multiple nightclubs and venues in Cincinnati's urban core, including the East End site of the infamous 2017 mass shooting, has pled guilty to tax and firearm charges. From what I'm reading, this is J. Raj. We all know J. Raj. A lot of folks know him in the city. Hold on. See this? This does not make me happy. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this. It does not make me happy at all. Is this real? Is this real? Somebody sent me this. This is from the Cincinnati Business Inquirer. Prominent Cincinnati nightclub owner plans new venues. That was the article about him in 2016. And now what? He has some issues with the tax man and the law. Is that what happened? Nightclub owner Julian Rogers pleads guilty to tax and firearm charges. Have y'all seen this? Oh, he said that's Daryl. What's up, Daryl? Wendy writes, they dragging that black man. Yes, it's real. Was on the morning news. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, my gosh. They dragging him. I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing it, honestly. Someone just sent me a link. They said they're still going to support J. Raj. I haven't read the entire article myself, so I can't tell you much more than just a couple headlines I read this for. Somebody send me a link. I'll check it out for myself. I don't know. I mean, I can't speak to anything that I have no information about. To my Spreaker folks, y'all hear about this? Miss D writes, greetings. Good morning to you. Mike Jones writes, TGIF choppers. Ray writes, I'm still going to BP. The staff is always professional and friendly. Renee writes, I understand the what and why. I'm speaking of how, step-by-step instructions. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, sure. Damn, yeah, for sure. That's easier than ever. That's super easy these days. For sure. Absolutely. You already know, sis. For sure. Listen, I'm looking for this J-Rod story. That's what I'm looking for. Is this real? I'm trying to confirm, and really I want to deny it, to be honest with you. I hope it's not real. Did you? Okay. Somebody just texted to me. I'm looking at it right now. Owner of the former Cameo nightclub pleads guilty to federal gun and tax crimes. Julian Rogers admitted to underreporting his income by at least $100,000. He reported his income as approximately $90,000 in 2017. The U.S. Attorney's Office said that wasn't even half of his income for that year, and that he failed to report at least $105,000. Federal agents searched Rogers' home in 2018 and found 2 guns. Apparently, Mr. Rogers is a convicted felon barred from possessing any guns. So that's what I'm reading from WCPO this morning. Just not a good look. Again, we all know that what happened with Cameo nightclub, and I think a lot of people in the city know who he is. I mean, you can be accused of anything these days. Man, the Fed's been busy in Southwest Ohio. On the low level, but are they really going that on the top level? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. Darren Rez, I read the article last night. In an earlier raid, they found a couple of guns and he was on probation and couldn't have weapons, among other things. Janine writes, good morning, Nathan and Facebook Chakras. Still no Facebook feed. Just found this second start of your YouTube. Thank you. Thank you for finding us on YouTube. You know what? I'm going to do that right now. I'm gonna post my face. I'm gonna go to YouTube. So do your boy a solid. Go to YouTube and then share the show from YouTube on Facebook. Right? Which, if I have to circumvent Facebook that way, then I will. I can go to YouTube every day and then share it there. That works too. Right? Whatever it takes. Hold on, share Facebook. Okay. Facebook is tripping right now. Check us out on YouTube. So I just posted to YouTube. So when you see that go up, share, post to us, share with us on YouTube as well from YouTube. Okay, it's real simple. And hold on. I'm going to post it on our Sin Digital Media page as well. All right, so hey, you gotta do what you gotta do in the digital age. Sorry about this, kind of interrupting the flow a bit. I didn't realize I'd be 8:30 dealing with these kind of issues, but it comes with the territory. Gotta do what you gotta do. All right, so I've shared it back on Facebook to various groups from YouTube, which when you see it go up, if you could do the same thing, I appreciate you in advance. All right, thank you so much. I like being on YouTube anyway. I mean, to me, it really makes no difference. I don't give a damn. Wherever we are, I want to be where the people are. So there it is. Everybody share it on Facebook. Thank you, Janine. Thank you. J Rod's about to get that club, about to get into a club he didn't want to belong to. IRS, dress code in an orange jumpsuit. Irony. Danita writes, good morning. All Nate, it isn't Facebook. It's the Ginger Twins. I told you they was mad at you. They might be. They might be mad at me. The Ginger Twins. She's talking about Bessie Sunderman and Melanie Bates. Girl power, right? That's hilarious. Just share. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, let everybody know where we are just using Facebook. Facebook's tripping right now. I mean, I like you, Facebook, but you keep effing with me, man. Keep effing with your boy. There's no reason, there's no copyrighted material that we use whatsoever. The music is all copyright protected. I have the license to use it all. I didn't run any videos or anything like that. There's really no good reason as to why that would happen, but it is what it is. Baldman54 writes, good morning, Choppers. I didn't see a Facebook post, and I was starting to get worried. No! Yeah, well, it is what it is. Again, we ain't going to complain. We don't do that. We don't do complaints in Cyber Wakanda. We just get the job done. We deliver, period. That's what we do. We ain't worried about what didn't happen. We only worried about what is happening. That's it. That's it. All right. Let me jump back in. To quote Nate's opening, looking at my YouTube like I love you so much. Right. Jericho writes, okay, folks, there's no Facebook. We get it. Let's move on. In my black lion voice. Okay, we get it. Jericho so push. Jericho thinks she running this. You're not running this, sis. You just keep taking care of that king of yours. That's it. And live black excellently. That's all we got to worry about. Kush writes, hey, Nate, I noticed more and more censorship from social media platforms. What's going on? In my Marvin Gaye voice. Well, Facebook is trying to prove. See, the thing about Facebook is they get a lot of pressure, primarily from the Republicans, to be more regulated by the government. It's amazing to me that the modern day Republican Party doesn't believe in regulating the internet, but they want to regulate Facebook. Think about that. They don't believe in net neutrality, right? Which would be no regulations, which would be a regulation that would prevent the big telecommunication companies from controlling what you see and what you stream and how fast you stream it. They're all for that. But then they want to crack down on Facebook because they perceive Facebook as being anti-Republican. And so what did Facebook do? Facebook's been overreacting, saying, oh, they're trying desperately to prove to the politicians that they can self-regulate to the satisfaction of the politicians without having some legal authority looking over their shoulder telling them what to do. So now that's why you got a lot of people that go to Facebook jail. You're like, damn, man, you put me in jail for saying that? That's because Facebook's overreacting. It's a knee-jerk reaction because they don't want to be regulated. I get it. Ronald writes, good morning. Just shared this to Facebook. I'm glad you're still up and running. I mean, if we had no video, we just rock audio today. I mean, that's how we started. That's how we started. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. But let me go on here. I want to talk about House Bill 294. I want to talk about this a little bit because I thought it was a very interesting article, a local article in which they talked about exactly what it would do. It will place limitations on boards of elections regarding drop boxes, time requested for mail-in ballots. You need numerous things are going to be changed. Matter of fact, I'm going to post this link. Ohio's proposal would eliminate early in-person voting on the Monday before Election Day. Those hours would be moved to other days in the early voting calendar. Now, why can't you vote the Monday before the election? We've been doing fine thus far. Under current law, the polls are open for 6 hours on the Monday before actual election day. So maybe they'll argue they need that day in terms of like administration time or something like that. There are some other things that people might agree with, but by and large, anything, any law, any idea that would in any way restrict our access, the amount of time that we have to vote, I'm against. It's an attempt to dissuade the public from voting. That's exactly what it feels like to me. And why are the Republicans doing this in a state in which the Republican candidate won by at least 8 points over the last 2 election cycles? I mean, just think about this. This is just how cutthroat the modern day Republican Party is. And there's a lesson in it. The lesson is that when it's your time, it's your time. You ever heard the term strike while the iron is hot? You got to strike while the iron is hot. Right now in Ohio, the Republicans have a majority in the state legislature. They're not going to waste that. Think about this. In the last 2 presidential cycles, so going back 8 years, the Republican candidate has won in Ohio by at least 8 points. So it's not as if the Republican candidates aren't winning in Ohio. I mean, they've got a majority right now in the state legislature. But this is what the modern day Republican Party is all about. This is not about parity. You know, the grand design for the grand old party is a unipolar system. They want one party, not 2. They essentially, and I've been making this point, and I'll make this point again, they essentially want to be the Harlem Globetrotters to the Democrats' Washington Generals. Let that sink in for those that understand what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, there's a game to be played, but we already know what the outcome is. That's what the Republican Party has wanted for 25, 30 years. This ain't new. This ain't new. The reason why, if you go around the country, you got a majority of Republican majorities in state legislatures and a majority of Republican governors is because that's what their plan was. They planned for this. It's like, oh, you liberals gonna take care of everything on the federal level. We're gonna control the state level. That's what the plan was. They didn't just slip on a banana peel and this happened. This was the plan. They executed the plan. And now that they've executed the plan, they're not going to give that up. You know what I'm saying? They're going to create the Death Star and try to put the Democrats out of misery, put them permanently in the Washington General's place. And sometimes it seems like the Democrats are like witting, they playing along with them. You know, doing Gilligan shit. So now that they're there, they're like, well, let's just slam the door shut in the faces of the Democrats behind us. They've already got a majority in Ohio, but they want a permanent majority in Ohio for the rest of your lifetime, for the rest of your family's lifetime, and the rest of your grandchildren's lifetime. They in it to win it. Go big or go home. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. And whatever it takes for them, the Republican Party, to do that, that's what they're going to do. They gotta align with Trump. They'll align with Trump. Whatever it takes. That's why they're doing this. Because there's really no logical reasons why. They're already winning. The Republicans are already winning politically in Ohio on the state level. They're already winning. Republican nominees for president do well in Ohio, at least over the last 2 election cycles. Why are they doing this? Because they fucking can. That's why. Because they can. You expect them to be nice and be fair? Why would they do that? Oh, it's not good for the people. Screw the people. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing the execution of a plan. So we're seeing. And now that they're there, they're going to do exactly what they plan to do. And if they got to ride the wave of nonsense, this is the legal insurrection. If they got to ride the wave of nonsense, that's exactly what they're going to do. They got to use Donald Trump because the Republican Party just used Donald Trump and he used them as well. That's it. House Bill 294 will clearly suppress the votes of the inconvenient, the marginalized, and those who wish to be heard. This isn't about your partisanship. This is about your patriotism. Tell Ohio leaders that the insurrection failed and to vote no. Those are the words of Stacey Abrams. They just had a conversation. I think it was over at the Urban League here in Cincinnati. A lot of folks around the state came together and talked about this. They're trying to raise awareness. I see these things on social media, Facebook, in which, the NAACP and other folks are raising the alarm, raising awareness about this. So, it's definitely on people's radar screen. Matter of fact, 2-3 weeks ago, during a podcast, what were they talking about? House Bill 294. They broke it all the way down. They even told you who the sponsors were and how to get in contact with them. So that's the other thing, folks. When we talk about these statewide issues, don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something about it. Don't even tolerate that, because we don't do that in Cyber Wakanda. We are not helpless. We are not weak. We are not defenseless. There's a lot you can do. You can let your voice be heard. Can you move mountains? Absolutely you can. You can still get things done. You can still put up a protest. You can still put up a roadblock, even though the Republicans have the majority. And if anybody has a better idea, like how many people think doing nothing and putting your head in the sand and not reaching out to representatives is a better idea than letting your voice be heard, reaching out and trying to raise as much noise as possible, and then trying to work with people that might be in a position on the state level to do something about it? I know what I think. Well, no, you tell me. Again, 513-873-7134. We just on YouTube today, but still, you can still tap in if you like to and share your thoughts by dialing that number. They can't control that. They can't control that. Good morning. Danita writes, the Republicans are for small government until it comes to women's body and social media by the mean left, right? They're for small government in great points, Danita. Also, they're for small government until it's about, helping, some big corporate merger. They're for smaller government and bigger businesses. It's all crap, really. It really is. Politically Petty Process Show writes, Facebook and John Wayne, they put me back in Facebook jail for 30 days. They petty. I love how you playing with that, man. I love it. They put you back in Facebook jail. That's because Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg and his team are trying to prove to Congress that they can self-regulate so that Congress doesn't pass a law to regulate them. That's all this is. That's all it is. The lesson is locals and state politics are more just as important than national elections. I would say that state politics are even more important. That's what I would say. I would say that what happens locally has even more of an impact than what's happening on the federal level, because there are things that are happening in individual states that are not happening in other states. So those people are dealing with issues that are unique. Letty writes, good morning, Nathan Ivy. Good morning to you. Graxton's on YouTube as well. He writes, local Dems are Washington Generals. Is that right? Tracy writes, Glenn, you love jail. Ronald writes, in gerrymandering. Letty writes, so Facebook went left today. What a load of crap. Yeah. Absolutely. Let me see. Mrs. Love Being Black writes, Biden trying to have children go to school for 16 years, not 12. I did see something about that. Trucking with Dante. What's up, Dante? What they did to Trump and his supporters can also be done to you. You should never be okay with anybody being censored. I still say that Trump deserved to be censored. He deserved it. Caramel writes, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Let me see. I'll put some money in the books for you, bro. Let's do it. Politically petty. You already know, man. Whenever you ready, it's done. 66TIUV writes, good morning, Chop Shop. Good morning. Chop Shoppers. Good morning. Good morning. Charter Committee pick John J. Williams, good government. Charter Committee pick for what? His pick is Charter Committee's picking John J. Williams for school board. Okay, cool. Politically petty writes, it could be worse, man. You could be Donald Trump and your blog and shut your blog down because of lack of interest. I did see that from the desk of Donald J. Trump. That man's ego, man, knows no boundaries. It knows no boundaries whatsoever. Good morning to you. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We're talking about House Bill 294. Kind of ran through some of the pages to give you some deal. Also, humans that are worse than COVID this morning. Here's one human that's not worse than COVID. And I got to give props to the current Hamilton County Treasurer, Charlie Winburn. I'm not sure if you read it, but back on June 1st, the Cincinnati Enquirer's editorial board, they did like an opinion piece about some local issues and kind of gave a thumbs up and a thumbs down. And they gave Charlie Winburn a thumbs up for what he's doing with the Hamilton County Treasurer's office. You know, he's going to be there until another couple of months, and then Jill Schiller's going to come take over. But Charlie Winburn has proposed some things that will help property owners and taxpayers here in Hamilton County. Let me read this to you. There are lots of ideas being floated about what the city of Cincinnati and Hamilton County should do with the millions of dollars they're receiving through the American Rescue Plan. But one proposed by Hamilton County Treasurer Charlie Winburn deserves serious consideration. And it goes on to talk about, his initiatives and his endeavors to try to work with property owners so they don't get foreclosed. And I tell you, I've driven all over the city in the last couple of weeks, and I keep running into these billboards. There's one on Reading Road near the Avondale-Coreyville area. There's one on the west side of town as well. And I keep seeing it pop up in different places, right? So it looks like he's been saving the county some money and also working with people that could have been foreclosed. Their properties could have been foreclosed and kind of working out some of these agreements. Now, I remember he came on this show first. He came on this show first before he talked to anybody in the media. I cannot underscore how those kind of moves help a media platform like this. I wish more Black people here locally would break news on Black media, right? If not with us, choose some other Black media. Right? Why? Because that gives us the exclusives. It brings more legitimacy to what we're doing. It's quite simple. But I'm going to post this link for you, let you read for yourself. But they gave Charlie Winburn props. They were like, hey, he could have just, put his head in the sand and just walked through these last 4-5 months. And then Jill Schiller takes over. But he actually tried to be proactive and do something that would have an impact. So props to Charlie Winburn on that. People think I don't like Republicans. I got no problem with Republicans. A good idea is a good idea. A bad idea is a bad idea. Simple as that. Makes no difference. Black Russia writes, Cincy Dems are trashy. They got 3 of the softest political Black men in the city. Hashtag Gang of 5. 3 of the softest political Black men in the city. Who are you speaking of? Who are the Black men that the Democrats endorsed? And again, I don't think it's final yet. But I remember there was Philip O'Neill. I don't know the brother, but hopefully I get a chance to talk with him soon. I don't know who the other Black men are. Oh, Scotty Johnson. I don't think Scotty Johnson's soft. I wouldn't call Scotty Johnson soft. And I can't remember who the other Black man is who they might be supporting for city council. I don't remember. But I wouldn't say that Scotty Johnson is soft. Okay. That's just me. Brent writes, Uncle Charlie Winburn has to get enough votes so he can be elected, not appointed. Absolutely, for sure. He lost that race. I can't remember why. It was a small margin, I think. I think it was a small margin. I think initially it was such a small margin that he was thinking about contesting the race and having them do a recount, but I can't remember how it all. I can't remember how it all shaked out. I can't remember that. Good morning to you. Yeah, if you're just tuning in this morning and you find us on YouTube and you went to Facebook initially, Facebook has been tripping this morning. I don't know why. I could not tell you. I have no clue whatsoever. And have still received no notifications to my buddy over in Facebook. Come on, man. You're going to do something like that, then you owe it to content creators to send us a message so that we at least know what's going on. Let me give you a heads up. On Sunday, Millennials Reshaping America, socially, economically, and politically, with attorney Shayla Favor, and she's a Columbus City Council member. They'll discuss topics from the State House to the White House. That's going to be on Sunday with Edna Howe, Straight Talk Live. And again, everyone doesn't know that Edna's back doing any kind of media. So I need you to help us both out, help her out by sharing her show, letting people know she's back on and where they can find her. But that's her topic for Sunday. Millennials Reshaping America, socially, economically, and politically, with attorney Shayla Favor, and she's a Columbus City Council member. And they'll discuss topics from the State House to the White House. That's right. Good morning to you. Just because you aren't a polyamorous black Republican with freaky geeky, huh? Sister Iris writes, remember, it's the city budget time. Let's help CCA get its funding. It needs to operate. I did see that you were putting the word out about that as well. Yep. And let's make sure that, so what's that timeline exactly? Is that going to happen before city council? I think so. We got 3 people on council, never elected, making all these big decisions, man. Yeah, it's been a hell of a week. I mean, this is the week that Tamaya Denard had to report to federal prison. And again, the only thing I can say is, damn, it's just voice how unhappy it makes me. I think the moral of it, and I find it so hard to believe that a woman like her could not pull together $15,000 from friends and colleagues and things like that. And she had to go ask a developer who happened to be a white male. And then this developer basically turned her into the federal government. And I'm like, $15,000 is not a lot of money. It's just not a lot. I'm not saying I got 15 grand just to shell out to anybody, because I don't. But I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a whole lot of money. And, I had heard that she had been asking different people for money here and there. We know she asked Greg Landsman for some money for a loan. He gave her, I think it was $1,000. He gave her a stack. And, I miss her on council. I'll be honest with you. When she said, you don't have to white splain to me, I'm like, what? It's a new day. We keeping it real like that? We just saying what we feel like that? And voting behind it? 2 more budget hearings, the decision will be made, right? Man, not good. So I just wasn't really damn. I mean, she got a lot of time too. It was 18 months, and then she got 3 years probation. That's a long time to have to be dealing with the system. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole long time. But what are you gonna do? What can you do about it? But learn from it. And she pled out. I still say that Tamaya Denard was treated differently than the other 2 city council members, Jeff Pastor and PG Sittenfield. I still stand by that. It seemed like with Tamaya Denard that the Hamilton County prosecutor got involved and basically was like on some, you gonna leave right now or I'm gonna do what I gotta do to you type of stuff. We never saw that with Pastor or Sittenfield. Was it because she was the first one and then with the other 2, he decided to step back, let the feds do it, or was it because he had a problem with her on some kind of personal level? But when I heard Tamaya say that, there's some element in that. Now, whose fault is that? I mean, I don't know. I think the moral of the story is keep your nose clean. I think that's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is if you get on city council, make sure your shit is together. Make sure you keep it tight. But in terms of me voting for her, I do not regret voting for her one bit. I actually stood with her when she was sworn in. I don't regret any of that. And, sometimes things go left. You don't expect it. Like that Lakers game last night. Yeah, if you don't know, it's official. LeBron James has officially, we just saw history last night. That was the first time in his whole career of going to the playoffs that LeBron James has been eliminated. And I think, what's so funny, man? Like, man, I've just been so blessed to have some good black male energy and relationships in my life, you know, and with my father, my uncle, and my grandfather, all men's men, if you know what I mean. When I say a man's man, 100% a man's man, all three of them, all intelligent black men. And so, I was talking with my uncle last night, and he was the first person ever to tell me that Donald Trump was going to win. At the time, he was doing Uber and Lyft, and he was having conversations with people. He was like, man, I've been talking with these white folks, and it's amazing to me how many of them love Donald Trump. He was the first person to ever tell me that. Matter of fact, I ran back to the air and told you that. I was like, yo, my uncle told me this, and I've just learned over the years that he's a very, very wise man. I watched my uncle start a business from scratch, from literally us talking, watching TV, him laying on the couch, we just talking. He said, I'm gonna start a business. I'm like, word? He's like, yeah, I got an idea. From that to articles of incorporation, a fleet of vans, a small fleet of vans, and employees. Like when you watch something like that happen in front of you, you can't help but think I can do that shit too. Like when somebody that does something like that, like talks about an idea, plans it, does it, and is successful with it, and you see all of this, that's black. That's the core of black excellence. You know what I'm saying? It just puts something in me. I don't feel like it's nothing I can't do. It's all about what I decide to do. Nobody can tell me anything different. That's because I saw it. So anyway, we was talking a couple of nights ago about the Lakers, right? We both Laker fans, sons of Ohio. He said something I agree with. He's like, this is the last shot LeBron James got at a championship. It's this year or no year because the young boys are coming. And I thought about it. I was like, damn, Unc, you right. Man, it's some young bucks in the NBA these days. The NBA has done a fantastic job of like now passing the baton to the next level. They got some amazing young talents on both sides of the aisle, Eastern Conference and Western Conference. So, last couple of days, I thought about what Unc said. I'm like, he's right. If LeBron don't get it this year, next year you got Denver coming back, Phoenix, obviously, Dallas. You got some horses, and who knows what Golden State's going to do next year when Klay Thompson comes back. I'm just talking some NBA talk for people that can get into it. If you ain't into it, then bear with me. I talk about the things I like, but super dope. And on the East side, Giannis, the Nets. This was LeBron's last year. And see, everybody know I'm a LeBron fan. I don't say I'm a fan of any man, but I like what he's doing in our community. That's what I like about LeBron. What I like about LeBron is that when he made it, he took his boys with him. You know what I'm saying? That's that loyalty piece. When he made it, he was like, oh, you got some ideas? What's your idea? I love it. Fund it. And then what did his boys do? They took the money, the opportunity of what he built and ran with it. I mean, they ran with it. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Because the wifey's leaving. I got to holler at her real quick. Sorry about that. I had to take care of a little business. Good morning. Yeah, we're not on Facebook this morning, I don't think. Somebody check Facebook. Everybody on here is on YouTube. Everyone on here is on YouTube. Good morning. So what was I talking about? The NBA? Oh my God. It's just so much fun. Damn, I wish I had more time, man. When I retire, I just want to just get into like my hobbies and my sports I really like to watch. Right now, I got work to do. I ain't there yet. We're not there yet. Okay. But so yeah, I saw LeBron. I mean, shit, he ain't 31 no more. He's like 30, what, 6, 7? That's old as hell to be playing ball. And look at Chris Paul. Chris Paul didn't even score 10 points yesterday. He teamed up with some young boys. I think dude had like 44 points. Devin Booker, he had 33 points in the first half, 18 in the first quarter. He was, man, it was Mob D style like that. I didn't even watch the game, so I was doing other stuff. And about 11 o'clock, it was about 11 o'clock last night, I went on my phone, I just typed in Lakers and Phoenix. And what's your name? I typed in Lakers, and the score came up, and my stomach hurt. I was like, oh dear Lord. Oh. You know what I'm saying? My stomach hurt when I saw it, but let's go to the phones. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection, the one and only Drop Squad 52, the Black Not Democrat, here out on the left coast, the People's Republic. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Good morning.
Thank you for having me. And first of all, shout out to all the choppers. Shout out to the lady choppers. Shout out to the alt middle and all their affiliates. Shout out to Holy Matrimony. Shout out to Black Love. Shout out to Black couples. And F Joe Biden, who talking about, they got interracial couples on TV now. Forget that. Let's see some true Black couples on TV from now on, Joe Biden. We don't need to see interracial. We need to see true Black love, the evolution of the Black family in the 21st century. And Mr. Ivy, you please, sir, continue to put your family on display for everybody who watches your show. Because if you know better, you can do better. Now, Mr. Ivy, let's talk about Joe Biden's speech in Tulsa. Did you hear all the pandering and the stereotypical rhetoric coming from this old-ass segregationist who now they expect Black people to carry that guy and his policies to get more Democrats in Congress? No way. Because, Mr. Ivy, people forget, not people like you, not people in the chop shop, but President Biden previously endorsed the idea of a reparations study for African Americans. But he has yet to formally sign into his budget or to any other bill the funding that's required to have this type of commission operate. And everybody's now saying after Tulsa that reparations, it ain't going to happen, at least not in Biden's first term. It's off the table because there's no money for the committee to do the study. And we all know a study is a bunch of BS. We don't need a study. We got 400 years of evidence, of science. And Joe Biden, he needs to be checked by somebody, Mr. Ivy. I give credit to New Black Media and the issues that they're covering right now. Roland Martin, for one. All he's talking about is putting money in his pocket so he can advertise. But beside the point, a lot of Black people watch Roland Martin. He needs to start pointing out some of these other tangibles with an economic connection that goes to the people in the form of reparations. We need to get it done because I'm telling you what, Mr. Ivy, the legislation that's passing across this country in these Republican-led state houses, they're sending a message. Stacey Abrams, Kamala, I'm Black, y'all Harris. I don't care how many states they go to. Everybody knows that Black people ain't stupid. Black people know how to vote. Black people voted in record numbers in 2020, Mr. Ivy. 80 million Democrats voted. So what are they talking about voter suppression and voter ID? It makes no sense. The young black millennials are starting to catch on, Mr. Ivy. They are turning their back on the Democrat Party and the political system that their parents and grandparents have been telling them that if you don't vote Democrat, the white racist majority is going to burn your house down. It's BS because we just had the first black president in this country in 2008, and now we have the first black American, Asian American, Pacific Islander female as vice president. So the political rhetoric that the Democrat Party continues to spew to get their voters to turn out. Mr. Ivy, one more thing. How is it that in 2021, the Democrats have the audacity to tell American black citizens that they don't know how to vote, Mr. Ivy? That because a state passes a law that says you need to put your ID to get to vote. Are you serious, Mr. Ivy? And they use that to pander. I need to stop because I'm getting fired up because it's Friday. I ain't got no job. That's right. I'm retired. Drop Squad 52. Dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Be safe in them streets. And I ain't got nothing else to say, Mr. I was on the road. I was feeling good, sir. So thank you for giving me the time. And you have a nice weekend, sir.
You too. Take it easy. That's Drop. Always great to hear his voice. Appreciate his voice on the show. 100%. Oh, man, listen, doing this show, we've been doing this show for like 4 years now. And, we've met and had some great conversations. I mean, that's all you can ever ask for when you're doing a daily show like that, is that we can have some great conversations. And Drop has been a great addition to the show. I know people love to hate him. I appreciate him. I do, because it's different from my take. He comes in differently. Not that everybody has to be different, but he's genuine. At first, I thought he was a white dude that came across the show and was just effing with us. That's what I thought at first. I was like, oh boy, because that happens sometimes. Sometimes somebody just come across the show and it's like, let me just F with them. And they'll call in and just come up with a voice or make a character. That's happened many times over the show. And like, those people don't have a lot of they don't have a lot of staying power. But Drop's been rocking with us for 3 years, man. He said he came across the show on Spreaker. He said he put in Black Republican. And then the show came up, and there it was. He's been checking us out ever since, and I take that. I'm happy about that. That's a great thing. That means that somebody not even in Cincinnati, because we talk a lot about Cincinnati stuff, but Cincinnati is just an interesting jump off point. It's just so much interesting shit that's emblematic of what other black people are dealing with around the country that happens in this city. We're in a very unique situation. And some of the things that happen is pure comedy. I don't care. Nobody say Cincinnati is one of the most interesting cities in the country. No doubt about it. And who we become and who we'll be determined by what we do. What are we going to do with the time we have here? And then, of course, this show, we talk about everything. We spent some time talking about Monique this week. I've figured out the rhythms on some levels of the internet and how it fits my style. And so, we talk about things that are going on all across the world, all across the culture, all across the internet. We do it. So it is what it is, man. I appreciate him chiming in. I don't agree with him. I think he be on some BS sometimes, but he just gives us something more to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate. That's why I support him 100%. That's why I help promote his shit, because he promote me. So I'm real simple. Somebody even say petty. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Ain't nothing wrong with being petty, man. Sometimes you just got to get it off your chest, like Kwame Brown.
And see,
that's why you, Nate, man. Happy Friday.
And see, happy Friday to you. See, that's why you good at what you do. Because I threw that segue out there. You knew it, jumped on it, and used it as an intro rant for your flows, man. Good morning to you. Welcome.
I never had to be bad. My mama raised me mad. They tell you what they said back in the day, PE forever. But I had to call in because I heard Little Drop X Smollett call in on that BS again. And see, what's funny, folks, and see, Drop, you just happened to call a place like, and get hip to Cincinnati where we were kind of hip to MAGA before there was MAGA because we're a very conservative town. So we heard all the BS right wing talking points that you hear nationally. We've heard them locally before they got national. Because it's been Gilligan Central with a certain station down the Dow for a long time, and I've been arguing with them Drop for a long time. But what Drop tried to do today is what Republicans are trying to do nationally and locally, and play the whole what's wrong with these voter laws? All they're doing is asking you for your ID. Drop, you and I know good and damn well the disagreement about these voter laws being passed don't have a damn thing to do with ID. Now, granted, those voter ID laws didn't get put in place until after 2008. And remember, Nate, I've said that 1,000 times. For whatever reason, we had an epiphany in this country, especially the Republican Party. And after 2008, they said we need voter ID. We didn't need voter ID after hanging chads with Gore and Bush. But when something happened in 2008 election, it was like significant enough. They were like, oh, we have to keep people from voting because they come out in droves when the Democrats have a candidate that can persuade the people to vote for them. Isn't that ironic? It's kind of like J. Raj, not letting people in the club, and he about to get into a club where everybody wear the same damn outfit. No, Drop, this isn't about voter ID. This is about laws that are being passed currently right now, folks, in the chop shop. And many of the choppers know this already. Nate, they're passing laws to where they can just, what do they call it, nullify the vote. Where they're replacing attorney generals who were normally put in place to certify the vote, they're giving it to the state legislature. So you can just imagine, say, for instance, you're in Arizona. And instead of certifying the vote the way they have since the Arizona Constitution was put in place, now we let the current Arizona legislator make the decision. And right now, they're doing an audit where they got some people called the cyber ninjas doing the audit. Again, this isn't new to people in Chop Shop. We know this. I mean, you talked about Drop being entertaining. Drop, yeah, he's an entertainer. He's like the Chop Shop jester. And we just laughing at his stupid ass because he tried to come in here, again, dropping bullshit, and we're not buying a Drop. That's why we got the Politically Petty show, because I can call out petty-ass people like you. What do they call it? Petty and impossible. All you do is come with petty. You have nothing possible that is legitimate. So, I just had, and let me also say this about Joe Biden's speech. And I plan on dropping the entire speech. It's a little long. I think it went like 41 minutes or something like that, Nate. But actually, I think you should give him credit. At no time do I ever remember any president. Oh, that's right. No president has showed up in Tulsa in 100 years since the massacre. That's right. Not Barack Obama, not both Bushes, not Bill Clinton, Reagan, anybody in the last 100 years. He shows up, and guess what he calls it? Not a riot. He called it a massacre. Again, I'm going to drop it. It's going to be on the next episode of the Politically Petty podcast show. So you can actually hear what the man has to say and not listen to like a little drippish. But no, yeah, I had to put that out there. And also, parting shot. For old boy trying to play the Cincinnati Dems got the softest black brothers. No, the Cincinnati Dems actually endorsed what? Majority black slate. And I will not take that from brothers walking around with medium ass T-shirts calling people soft. If I remember right, like Mark McGuire, it was what, about 3 weeks ago? We had to have a chop shop intervention because cuz called in crying talking about committing murder. Get the hell out of here. Nate, let me get out of here, man. It's Friday. I do got a job. And I'm about to log in about 20 minutes. Petty peace.
Appreciate the call. That's Glenn checking in. Oh, man. We got to get together, bro. We got to get together. We got to make this happen, man. Man, that's interesting. That brother's very talented, man. Very talented. Like you say, just doing this podcasting thing and then reaching out to people. It's just so many talented people. I'm working on even more podcasts and some shows that are not like this. A lot of this has been like your traditional live stream, but my creativity is calling me to do different things. So I'll show you as soon as I got something to show you. Jesse's in the house. Tiffany's in the house. Hey, good morning. Thanks for making the transition over to YouTube. Facebook is having some issues. I'm not going to take it personally because I really don't know. I haven't received any notifications to this point. So until they notify me, I'm not going to make any assumptions. Maybe they're just having some issues with their live streaming capabilities or something like that. But because I just don't get it. But anyway, the show goes on. So I jumped off for a little while and then came back on. Nothing from Facebook. Jumped back on and tried to restart the stream, so to speak. Didn't really work. So we just went to YouTube. The show goes on. The vast majority of the audience where I get the most plays to this day is still on audio. It's still people that listen to the show, after we're on, after we get off. So I got to make sure I represent for my audio folks, to my Spreaker folks, and to my TuneIn folks. And we've been doing this video thing. It's fairly new. It's new to what we've been doing. The majority of the time that we've been online has been audio. We just moved the video last year, and I wish I had done it sooner. I like the video aspect. It just adds another more intimate element to the show. And I don't mind being on camera. I feel the same about being on camera as I do behind the mic. I just do me. There's no difference. Hey, what's up, David? Thank you so much, man. Hit me with that. If you haven't already, hit me with a subscription. I'm trying to get to 1,000 folks, 1,000 subscribers. When you do that, that's how YouTube works. You got to get to a certain level of subscribers and hours watch to unlock more creator capabilities. They don't give you everything up front, which I kind of like, actually. It makes sense. I don't have a problem with it. That's the rules. That's the rules. It is what it is. So this morning we talked about House Bill 294. Talked about that. I was just talking about more of it. House Bill 294. The Ohio proposal law would eliminate a week of mail-in ballot requests, requiring voters to request a ballot 10 days before the election rather than 3 days. I don't understand why. Ohio's proposal would require voters requesting a mail-in ballot online to submit 2 forms of identification, a driver's license or state identification card number, and the last 4 digits of their social security number. Current law doesn't allow that. Let me see here. How important is that? You tell me. Ohio's proposal would allow the Ohio Secretary of State to mail absentee ballot applications to registered voters and prepay for postage. However, voters would need to pay for their own postage to return their applications and mail in ballots. So they're making it a little bit more, they're changing things. Under the new Ohio bill, each Board of Elections could install up to 3 new drop boxes on their property for 10 days before Election Day and on Election Day. The drop boxes would be open 24 hours a day, but could not be placed around the county. So they got to be just at the Board of Elections. And see, the Republicans will say, we need these to keep our elections fair. And that's their argument. And do you agree with that? Let's go back to the phones. Tiffany writes, Glenn, the Black Republican Slayer. He is that. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, comrade.
Good morning. Good morning. Black Russia, what's up?
Yes. Hey, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, thank you. I got a question. If Glenn from Mason is the Republican vampire slayer, why is he out there living with Republican vampires in Warren County, letting them live instead of slaying them? You know what I'm saying? It's easy to come down to Cincinnati where there's very few Republicans left and start pointing fingers. But when you live with Republicans in your own backyard, you're not slaying them. It just seems kind of hypocritical. And it kind of goes to my point that with this House Bill 294, see, these Democrats are running around acting like they got some type of power in the city, on the state level, in the governor's mansion. They have no influence. Okay, House Bill 294, whether they like it or not, it's going to get shoved down their throat like stand your ground. We had this conversation before. They come down to the city. They want to consider themselves doing constituent work by, having to be at the Urban League and screaming about how it's not fair. What you need to be doing is organize around the state and trying to get a referendum because it's coming. See, they don't play the game right. Like, if you don't want no policy and the Republicans are shoving it down your throat, what you need to be doing is getting with these Democrats all over the state, the very few of them that are there, and organizing petition drives in order to put it on the ballot and let the people decide, instead of coming down to your city and screaming about how unfair it is. See, they don't come to the city usually to do the constituent work when this is going on. They wait till after they get slam dunked in their head, then they want to come down to the city and scream as if they're trying to stop it, as if they're doing something, and it's the fakest issue in the world. They should be in Akron, it should be in Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati, instead of running their mouths getting lawyers to write these petitions so that they go hit the streets all over the city and stop this stuff. I just get so tired of the hypocrisy. Like, just stop screaming about stuff and go do something. You don't like it, go do something. Stop talking. I ain't no talker. I'm a doer. All right? So all this fake, oh, they about to do House Bill 294 down our throat. Man, you better go get you a lawyer, get some damn petitions, and hit the streets. If you're really outraged about it, stop talking. You know, the killers don't talk. They just kill you. You understand? So they better get their lives in order politically. That's what I'm on. I don't even want to hear about these black Democrats in the state house talking about we trying to do something. Hit the streets and get you some petitions like they did when Senate Bill 5 came down. Remember they tried to do that the labor law where they tried to make it a non-union shop in Ohio. You see the unions hit the streets, got the signatures, and made cases like a damn fool. And they shut this down. These black Democrat state representatives and senators, stop running your mouths, get some lawyers, get some petitions, and hit these streets. If you really about some voter rights, if you really about some stopping you stand your ground, get with the NAACP, whatever they're doing, okay, running their mouths with them, organize. This is the key. The Republicans are organized. The charter committees are organized, okay? The Democrats locally, all the way to the state level, disorganized. I mean, look at if you read Chris Rutherford's feed on Twitter about how they did a nominating process, it was a damn joke. And if you've been watching Twitter, you see all the far left people, you know, pissed off at the Democrats and everybody else, the moderate Dems, the Republicans, everybody sitting back laughing at these fools. Because now the Republicans done took over the state. They about to take over your city here in a minute, and the moderate Dems going to take over your city. They about to take it over because the Democrats don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay, and before I go, hey, Cameo shooting justice has now been served to those families. Okay, the feds going to get Jay Bosch one way or the other, and see he got caught up lying about his money because he didn't want to pay these families. All right, so hey, he facing 13 up top, and when it comes to the gunplay, they find guns in your convicted felon in federal district court. You don't get time for that. They ain't playing around. So have a good weekend. I'll be listening. And look, Glenn, how about you play all the Republicans you live with out there in Warren County instead of trying to come down to Cincinnati? You're too scared for the city, bro. That's why you vote in Warren County. You can't vote down here. We run it down here. Holla at you.
It's Black Russia. Another interesting voice. You know, I can't say that the brother don't ask. And like I said, I'm just a host, man. I mean, there's so many people that make this show what it is. I mean, I fully admit it, man. I appreciate my folks. That's why people that support me, I support you. You want to get on the air, shoot your shot, or say what you got to say, you go right ahead. You go right ahead. Enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. 513-873-7134 if you'd like to share your thoughts this morning. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, man, that Laker game is not making me happy at all because I enjoy seeing LeBron James win, and I just feel like it's over for them. I don't see LeBron winning another championship per se. I think it's time for LeBron to take that step back. And what the Lakers need is they need one more superstar. In today's world, you got to have at least 3 superstars or you got to have a lot of young bucks. I love it. I wish that they would call the game as referees the way they used to with today's athleticism. That'd be fun to watch. But if you don't know, the Lakers got their ass whooped these last 2 games. It's a wrap. AD never should have tried it. I don't think that Frank Vogel is the coach that they need. They need a coach that's going to be more charismatic. You're in fucking LA. And that's just my take on it. We'll find out what happens. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. It's Davida. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Danita. Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
I was just calling in about Black Russia's phone call. It kind of confused me a little bit because you can't repeal something before it's passed. And that's exactly what happened with Senate Bill 5, as he referenced. Senate Bill 5 did pass because the labor unions didn't pay attention to what Kasich was saying. Kasich ran on no Obamacare, and that's what they heard, and they stopped. So then after Senate Bill 5 passed, the teachers union, the firefighters union, the police union said, oh, wait, this guy is not for unions. And then Senate Bill 5 was repealed. So if you're going to talk about something Black Russia, you got to say the whole thing. Drop does the exact same thing. He's talking about the fact that Joe Biden has not signed legislation to start a committee to look at reparations. when he knows the duties of the three branches of government. The executive branch does not write bills. That's the legislative branch. And that is the entire problem with Republicans or non-Democrats, is they take one piece of information that is correct and they twist and turn it till it's like you can't even recognize that it's a fact anymore. That's what irritates me about Black non-Democrats and these people that are calling into the alt middle. Quit twisting facts and just actually tell the truth.
Great flow. Appreciate you.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend.
You too. That's Danita, another voice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll say it again. We got the best callers of anybody in the city of Cincinnati on this show. The more interesting callers that, you get excited when you hear their name because, they coming with it. All different kind of styles. I'm not saying anything about anybody else. I'm just repping for my city. You know what I'm saying? I'm supporting this show. And very interesting folks. Very interesting. All intelligent people. So I appreciate it. So she talked about reparations. Of course, Drop did bring that up. He loves to tell one side of the story. He think we don't know it, but it's entertaining nonetheless. But here's the news I didn't get to 2 days ago. I teased this on Wednesday. California Task Force holds first meeting to study reparations for slave descendants. They got a task force in California that's studying reparations. Stop right there. I know what some of y'all thinking. You're thinking task force? We don't need no task force. Now, when it comes to the issue of reparations, I'm pro task force. I'm pro study. I'm pro task force. I'm pro study because I think that's how this reparation thing starts. We need to promote these conversations and promote these kind of movements. This is how reparations begins. It don't begin just on the federal level. It starts on the state level. We should be having a conversation about that in Ohio. That's where we're going to start these conversations. If you're serious about reparations, you got to support what's happening right now. Reparations is not going to just be like this, like, oh, they deserve it. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a push. It's going to be a statewide push. Right? It starts with your congressmen and women. It starts with your city council members. It's a cultural shift. Everybody needs to be on board. It needs to become a truism that the descendants of slaves deserve reparations and that we need to get this done. That needs to be a part of our everyday conversation, changing the culture around it. That's what's going to push reparations into the federal level. And maybe one day it can even be a presidential campaign issue. It's not a presidential campaign issue right now. In fact, what I read is that Joe Biden, behind closed doors, he met with the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus, and essentially told them that reparations, a larger conversation about it, is off the table right now because he's trying to push his infrastructure bill. Politics. But there will be a day, right, when reparations is a presidential campaign issue, a wedge issue, however it needs to be. It needs to be a prominent part of that conversation where it's kind of like, this is expected of whoever becomes the new congressperson or the new president or the next senator. And it starts with making sure we get the numbers right. The numbers matter. Once you get the numbers behind you, because there's so many different opinions out there, but once you get the numbers, you get the facts. The facts are irrefutable. They're black and white. And when you get those numbers, right, and that it just adds more quivers, more arrows to your quiver, so to speak, more ammunition to your argument. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can refute it. They can read it as black and white, and it's just numbers. That's why I supported the idea of spending $1 million to do, to do a discrimination study throughout the whole system of the government in Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? I think city council said, yeah, but then they put it on the shelf and said, we'll pay for it later. I'm in favor of it because we need to see the numbers. That way, congressmen and women can use those numbers to kind of push the culture and push the issue forward. So this is what they're doing in California. It's a 2-year process that organizers hope will compensate for the federal government's inaction on the issue. The 9-member task force, appointed by Governor Gavin Newsom, who is a Democrat, is made up of the descendants of slaves, including legislative leaders, prominent lawyers, and academics. Now, this is just the beginning. They're saying it's a 2-year process. Why does it take 2 years? I don't know. Is that going to be the standard for every state? I don't know. If so, can we get our task force started here in the state of Ohio, please? And if they have already started it, we need to give them more attention so everybody knows what's going on. This will breed more confidence in melanated people in the system if reparations are ever passed. A lot of people say, what about reparations? The first thing they fall back on when they talk about why they don't vote or what their dissatisfaction level is, what about reparations? We need to deal with this. A federal slavery reparations bill, commonly referred to H.R. 40, has languished in Congress since it was first introduced in 1989. That should be an issue. Like whenever we vote, like if you're serious about reparations, I just gave you a question to ask any congressperson in any district for the rest of your life. Whether it be the 1st congressional district or the 2nd congressional district, the 3rd congressional district. We need to push the culture to the point where when the next time that there's a debate about who's going to go up against Steve Shabbat, that there is a lengthy, robust dialogue about H.R. 40. And any motherfucker that is not for it, don't get our vote. Period. You ain't getting our vote. If you don't support H.R. 40, I don't give a damn what it is. If that's how you feel, you have every right to feel that way. That's how we get this done. It's not going to be done by not voting. And it's not going to be done by saying, oh, study. I don't care about no study. No, we need a study because every individual state has a story to tell. And there's a reparation story in every state. And there's going to be some similarities, obviously, and there's going to be some uniqueness, some unique elements. We need to know what that is. They need to know exactly what the price is, what the cost is if you live in Mississippi. We need to know exactly what the cost is, what was stolen, what is owed in Ohio, in Kentucky, in Indiana, in Pennsylvania, in Illinois, in all of the states. And then use that state, that feeling, and push it to the federal level and get it done. It's already sitting there. It's been sitting there since 1989, but it's not important enough. It's just simply what it is. And black voters, we got to blame ourselves. We haven't made it an absolute. We have not done that with the Democrat Party. We have not said absolutely do this or else. We haven't done that. Let me see. Nat Rice, Tim Burke, and David Pepper were terrible heads of the party. I can't remember Tim Burke. David Pepper, obviously, there were some things you could look back and say, why did he do that? Or why did they choose this individual? But, I don't know enough about the job, honestly, Nat, to be honest with you. If I'm being 100% with you, I don't know enough about the job. Caramel writes, the Lakers didn't show up. They didn't show up. LeBron should have had more help. LeBron was injured. It just, for that team to have a chance, they needed everybody to be healthy. Like if everybody was healthy, if CP3 was healthy, if LeBron was healthy, if AD was healthy, they would have beat the Phoenix Suns. But everybody wasn't healthy, and that's just the way they got that team constructed. Every piece has to work perfectly. Every piece has to work perfectly. Let me see here. Lakers thought they would walk through the playoffs. I don't think they did. I saw the post game with LeBron. He said, look, we've been injured for a long time, so it is what it is. Let me go to the phones. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show. I think we lost them. I don't think they thought they were going to walk through the playoffs. You play who you play. They limped into the playoffs. Final spot. They just weren't good enough to beat the Phoenix Suns this year. That's what it comes down to. I mean, injury, spinjury. Yeah, I just said it, but that's no excuse. Next man up. I mean, they had a lot of pieces on their team that just aren't ready. They don't have that dog in them. Dennis Schroeder, he's an excellent player in games like the beginning of the season, maybe until like 50 games. Yeah, he's a flash in the pan, but in the big moment, last game in this day, he didn't show up. Kyle Kuzma, I mean, he'll probably dunk all over me. He'll cross me up in a minute. I couldn't fuck with him. But obviously, when he out there with dudes on his level, he ain't show up. Simple as that. And LeBron is old. He's old now. Here's what should happen with LeBron. LeBron should take a back seat and kind of be like that Tim Duncan type Get another superstar, another major player. You got a three-headed dragon with LeBron as the grizzled vet who sometimes comes off the bench and still drops 15 and 10 and 5 or something like that. And then ride those young boys. Because this is a young boy league. The NBA is a young boy league. And the young boys is coming. It's going to be hella fun to watch. I don't care who wins. As long as they go 7 games and it's entertaining. I would suspect right now it would be, let me see after this weekend. But right now, I don't know. I don't know if the Nets are going to be the Bucks. The Bucks are not the same team. I don't know. Let me see. 3 the hard way. Cincy writes, alt middle is alt mental. Never trust, always verify. Absolutely. Good morning to you. See, I could tell a lot of people aren't in here just because, we're on YouTube today, which is fine. I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Just do me a favor and share this on YouTube. Matter of fact, let me share it on YouTube a couple more places myself. Let me see here. I don't know. Facebook. I'm sure they'll send me a message later and tell me what's up. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, man. It's Kev on the field.
Hey, what up, Kev?
How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
So first off, I think it's time out for this old shaming that's been going on, man. It's been going on too long. LeBron got some days on his legs. I agree with you that they need to add some pieces, 100%, because every team needs to. These teams are stacking up, and he's part of the reason why they started doing it when he went to Miami. So you can't be mad about it. You were part of that whole. We're going to get massive amounts of talent and stick on one squad, but I don't know about this whole playing off the bench thing and everything like that. What I think he needs to do is truly get another star caliber player. He can maintain his role on the floor. He just needs to be able to get space. But the good thing about LeBron, and this is what I like about him from a basketball perspective, is he's not afraid to share, man. So if the third player comes on the court that has the talent, the skill, the ability, you know what I mean? It's not like LeBron's not going to pass to that person. It's not like he ain't going to feed him. It's not like you know what I'm saying? Like you got these other guys, you got some other guys, I'm not going to say these other guys. You got some other guys that would never pass the ball. They just be like, man, look, I'm going to shine. That's my role. I want to stay in the bright spotlight. But LeBron has never had a problem passing the ball to the man that's open in order to win the game. The problem he's got right now is the man he's got to pass to. One of my partners had dropped all of the injuries that AD had throughout this year, and it is ridiculous. Bro. I didn't even know that. Like it's almost every month, you know what I mean, that he played, that there's legitimately an injury, man. So if your other star, because you got another star, right, is hurt all the time, then yeah, you're gonna literally limp into pun intended, limp into the playoffs. So I think just adding a piece. Yep, they lost a couple pieces last year that I don't think they should have gave up on. A couple of the veterans that would have came in there and pushed through, and would have been able to be forces. They let them go for whatever reason, mainly because of that whole age thing again. But my point is, getting old don't make you useless. And yes, young legs win, but strategy is really what wins games. And teams win as teams. It doesn't matter who's out there on that floor. If you've only got 3 guys that play and 2 guys to sit and 4 guys to come off the bench and sometimes play, then you got a problem. Period. I don't care who it is. You know what I mean? So I'm enjoying the non super hype stuff. I gotta speak to Drop, but I hate just I just like that uncle at the barbecue, man. He's coming. He's kind of entertaining, but you like, man, I wish you wouldn't. It's not that I don't want you to come because you're still family, but can you just like sit in the corner over there and play with your thumbs or something? You know what I mean? Somebody get that man a beer. Hopefully he get drunk, or maybe, if he indulges, he'll go over there and pass out somewhere. I can't abide this dude coming over here trying to act like we don't know what's going on in the world. It's slightly ridiculous, bro. You are fooling no one dropping science. Man, you can't spell science. This and I'm telling you, he is out there in California, and it ain't just the tall trees that Drop is fooling with. That man is out there walking through the giant redwoods or whatever with some redwood. You feel me? Like
he admitted it though. He said he gets weed sent to his house. He said a couple times a week or once a week or something like that.
It's mailed to him, man.
Yeah, it's
I'm
mailed
telling
to him.
you, and he must be getting that good, man. Because every time he calls in, I think to myself, this brother is high. He got to be out of his mind high. Anyway, folks, just enjoy the weekend. It's the first weekend that supposedly everything is wide open again, I guess. I don't understand that. I just heard that half the population is vaccinated. Nate, I still keep telling you, bro, I think you should go and take the plunge, get it done. You know what I'm saying? I know you said it's an experiment, but it seems to be working for the people that are dealing with the experiment. And quite frankly, we need you around here, bro. That's no brown nosing. I love all my people. There was a comment the other day that K is not from here. That don't matter, man. Black is black throughout the diaspora. You hear me? We are not held. My auntie was a civil rights leader in London. You know what I'm saying? And I asked her one day when we were talking, and she said, yeah, there was Panthers in England. There was Panthers all over the world. It started in America, but it didn't end there because there are black people everywhere. And if you black, you're black. If you're a black Russian, you know that you black. You hear me? Because there are Russians that are black. So don't cast me out just because I'm or soon to get my African Americanism. I've been black my entire life, and I love my people. Period. Bruh, Nathan, on every station across the nation. I'm gonna end with a shout out to my man T-Bone because I ain't done that in a while. Keep doing what you're doing, Nate. Love the show. Love the flow.
Appreciate you. That's Kev on the cell, man. Soon to be an African American. So he was born in London and he's going through the process to become a U.S. citizen. So somebody want to be here. Like I don't trash my city, man. I love Cincinnati. 100%. I 100% believe that Cincinnati has so much potential. So much potential in this city, man. And so many great things happening. So, I go hard in the paint when it's time to go hard in the paint, but it always comes from a place of love. Because you got to love where you from. I was born and raised here, met my wife here. My children are born to this city. It's where I do what I do. All my friends are here. I want to see us win. I want to see us win right here. I ain't going nowhere, at least not for now. You know what I'm saying? I do. When I retire, I might want to go travel the world a little bit, travel the country. This is a great piece by Alexis Oatman. What's up, G-Spot? The G-Spot mentioned you. The G-Spot's talking to me now. Okay. I'm quite fond of the G-Spot, actually. I could say something else, but I'm not. Monique writes, Alexis Oatman. Here's the headline of her article about Monique. Monique made a lot of news this week. As a matter of fact, Donnie's going to be talking about Monique, among other things, today at 12:30. She's been off about maybe 2 or 3 weeks, busy, doing what she got to do. You know what I'm saying? And but back to this, Alexis Oatman, this is in the Griot. Monique's critique of black women in bonnets reeks of respectability politics. You know what that means? What Monique really means by having pride in yourself is looking presentable under the white gaze. Some people made that point yesterday when we talked about. I spent a couple of days on this show on that topic. I thought it was so interesting. And you have to read the piece for yourself. But generally speaking, I agree with the sister. I agree with what she's saying. Quote, The whole dress how you want to be dressed ideal is not only illogical, it's been proven not to work. Martin Luther King preached nonviolence with a full-on suit and tie, was beaten, thrown in jail, stabbed, had slurs hurled at him regularly. I made the same point yesterday talking about Dr. King. Every photograph you see of Dr. King on, he is dressed, as some people might say, appropriately. The man, everywhere he went, he conducted himself in what people would call a respectable manner. Suit and tie, dress shoes on. And even when he was casual, he wasn't sagging. He wasn't wearing no do-rag. He was very manicured. Hair was very closely kept to his head, kind of like mine. By all aesthetics, he would be what some of these elitist black folks are saying that we all supposed to live up to, and they despised his ass. So who gives a damn what white folks think about how you're dressed? Who cares about that? So that ain't important. That's all it was. Some of that secondhand embarrassing. I'm embarrassed because I'm embarrassed for you. I'm embarrassed too, boss. We's both sick. We's both embarrassed. I can't believe they left the house like that. That's what we doing to one another? And then people out here tried to turn the conversation to something that never really was. They forgot what Monique actually said to fit what they wanted to say. Happens all the time. So I haven't read through the entire piece because I just saw it once we got on the air, but Alexis Oatman, so far, I agree with. I agree with what she's saying. Have some pride. What you mean have some pride? Just because I'm not dressed the way you think I'm supposed to be dressed, I don't have pride now. Don't get me started. You know how I feel very passionately about this topic. I'm not a queen because Monique said I'm not a queen because I got a bonnet on. What in the hell? You know what? You're not a queen if you let somebody else define what being a queen is. The hell? Don't get me started. I don't want to get started down that road again. I don't want to go there. Somebody writes, Rat Kevin. I like that, under the white gaze. Terry writes, it's like watching the Kevin Samuels podcast. Caramel writes, I agree with the article writer also. Yeah, I think she's on point. Monique should have kept that to herself or put it in a comedy routine. Make it funny. Then, okay, it's comedy. But who is she? And then this ridiculous story she keep talking about, Patti LaBelle, has nothing to do with what she said and did. Monique keep telling this story about how Patti LaBelle pulled me to the side. I didn't even know that sister. And she told me I need to lose some weight. What the hell does that have to do with you getting on Instagram, making a blatant statement about women that you never had the courage to go up to and say anything to? Auntie, I don't know about you, but when I see my nieces and nephew doing something, I say something to them right then. I don't wait. I say it to them right then because I care enough to correct them in the moment. She ain't even do that to me. What you gonna do next time? Save it. Bad auntie. Everybody got that auntie or the uncle you just don't want to F with. You don't like them. For whatever reason. They did something to you when you was young. Hopefully nothing too severe. But you know what I'm talking about. You just don't like them for whatever reason. Alexis Oatman. She's a writer and journalist from Cleveland, Ohio, as a matter of fact. I'm telling you, Ohio got all the talent, man. We got the talent in this city and this state. We are the benchmark in Ohio. Caramel writes on IG on the bathrobe no less, talking about women wearing bonnets and such. Right. And see, that's the thing about when you get ad hominem and start getting superficial with people, then human beings are going to get superficial with you. Like, oh, we got to be dressed up in the airport. Then you got to be dressed up when you get on IG. See how that works? That's why I don't go down that road. It's simply a style choice, period. Nothing more than that. My mama would never do that. Okay, elitist. My mama raised me to do. That's your mama. And you ain't no better because you don't wear a bonnet out. You think you any better? You think white folks look at you any different because you don't have a bonnet on? They don't. Racist white folks look at us all the damn same. You just uppity. Some of y'all just might be uppity. That's the only difference. You know, we got to quit trying to negotiate with racists that don't give a damn about what you dress like. They didn't care. Malcolm X had a bow tie. Every image I ever saw of Malcolm X, the vast majority, because I saw a couple when he was leisure wear, but leisure wear back in the 60s was different than leisure wear today, right? He wasn't chilling with no do-rag in a fucking Green Bay Packers jersey. Every time you saw Malcolm X in every image nearly, he dressed to the nines. To this day, the minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, all them brothers be dressed up, suited and booted, and white folks can't stand they ass. Can't stand some, because some white folks is down with us. And they're not even down with us, they just down with common sense. So it don't really bother them. I'm talking about the white folks that it bothers. You know what I'm saying? Just so I like to be specific on things. Some white folks can't stand Louis Farrakhan's ass. It don't matter what good he do. He said some shit back in the 80s, and he ain't never gonna live down. Now, he did say some shit. And we all gotta deal with what we gotta deal with. But this idea that you're gonna be accepted by somebody that's never gonna accept you anyway, but all you gotta do is not wear a bonnet is ridiculous. I ain't going down that road. And for folks who say, Nate, it matters what you look like, we know that. That's a whole different argument. Quit trying to save Monique. Stop trying to save her. Let her be dealt with for what she actually said. Don't try to dress it up or try to get deep with it. Don't try to identify by telling me what your mama and your grandmama did with you. My grandma would smack me in the face if I walked out the house with a bonnet. So what? That's not the argument. That's not the argument. Also, we're talking about the very unfortunate news. I know J. Raj. I'm very friendly with J. Raj. I've reached out to J. Raj on some black entrepreneur shit for advice. He took the time to sit down with me and spend his time with me, his very valuable time. For another project, we just did a photo shoot down at his spot downtown, and he allowed us to come in and do the whole photo shoot and everything. And was really receptive to some other ideas that I have. So on a personal level, I don't have nothing negative to say about the brother. I've never had any bad interactions with him. And as an entrepreneur to an entrepreneur, I've looked at him on the surface as someone who, was a source of inspiration, black-owned gas station, things like that, putting on events. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing respect, for that level. In terms of his legal issues, if in fact what they are saying is true, I feel the same way. If you do the crime, you got to do the time. I don't like it. I don't want to see nobody go to jail, especially on somebody I know and on some levels admire in terms of his hustle. I don't know if it's true or not. I think in America, you should, especially black folks, we got to believe in this. You are innocent until proven guilty. And so that's how I'm going to approach J. Raj as well. From what I read this morning, it ain't looking good. It's not looking good at all. Looks like they got the tax manners on him, saying he basically was hiding $100,000 in terms of how much money he made. And then he also got a gun charge. So the link is up right now on WCPO. I haven't been to his Facebook page. Let me go to his Facebook page and see what he posted. He might be posting something about it. I don't know. I ain't been to his page. I'm on his page right now. 3 hours ago, he wrote, "Good morning, hustlers and haters. Yep, the Lord got me up. Now I'm at it. Hashtag first they love you, then they hate you." So that's what he posted. J. Raj, 15 hours ago, he posted, "The times I want to say the most is when I say the less. So he out here still posting. He might be listening now. I know he listens to the show. I support that brother. I hope he comes out of it clean. I hope he beats it all. I'm just be honest with you. That's how I feel about it. I hope he gets off on it. I hope it's not true. And if it is true, I hope he beats it. That's just me. At least I'm being transparent with you. Again, I hate to see anybody go to jail, especially somebody, get caught up with the law. Hate to see black people caught up with the law. This picture of Ashley is great. She looks phenomenal in this picture. We gotta use that. She looks great. Let me see here. Good morning, hustlers and haters. So that means that a lot of people some people must have been saying some F shit in his DMs or something like, yeah, I knew it or something like that. That people build you up so they can tear you down. And not everybody's gonna rock with you. I've learned that. Not everybody's gonna be sympathetic or like you. So when things happen, that's when people try to pile on and say F shit. That's how it goes. 15 hours ago, J. Ross posted on Facebook, the times I want to say the most is when I say the less. I could read into that. It sounds like, obviously, the brother feels like there's another side of the story. And it was 15 hours ago, so that was probably since the news is broken. And 23 hours ago, he was posting about the Cincy Soul, aka the Black Taste, which is going on again this year. So, there it is. Nothing directly. I mean, you could read into these last two posts that on some level he's referring to the circumstance. I see he's got the Mamba mentality on his Facebook cover. Why am I talking about this? Because all this shit matters. You know what I'm saying? Other people will be doing what I do, but see, we trendsetters over here. So I read Facebook pages. I can go to your page and just kind of read and pick up on different things. It's a gift. It's a gift. I guarantee you hear other people start doing on their shows. I mean, it is what it is. Let me read some of these comments here. A lot of people saying good morning to him. Let me see if there's any F shit on here. You got this. A lot of people who I know on Facebook. Stay strong. You got this. Good morning to you. Somebody sent me a link about the story saying they still going to support him. I mean, they'll still attend his businesses. Good morning, brother. A lot of well wishes here. I'm not sure if he's deleted anything on here. But that's what the situation is as it relates to J. Raj. Now, people are gonna say they're going after all the black leaders. Yes, in a sense. So we know that assassinating black people's character is a favorite pastime here in the city of Cincinnati. The local media outlets love to and have spent a lot of time, and made a lot of money off of the demise of black people. See Tracy Hunter. Like, we have no idea how much local media made off of this Tracy Hunter story. Even her being dragged out of the court. I think it was Channel 5. They had like 5 million hits on YouTube. That's something they can monetize. They literally getting paid off of it. And that's the way the news works. They want to get paid. But so we know that this city has a history of, in terms of the media and in the culture, delighting in and making and monetizing the demise of black people, black leadership. We know that. Okay, we know that. However, let's pump the brakes on these cases and these individual situations and look at it in an individual case by case base. And what I mean is if you do the crime, you do the time, period. It don't matter if you're a black leader or not. Black folks we don't get to break the laws because we black. You know what I'm saying? If in fact, and again, I'm not speaking specifically about J. Ross, but I'm taking fill in the blank black prominent person in Cincinnati. If you do the crime, you got to do the time. And you can't play the black card. You just got to deal with it. Because black people do dumb shit and commit crimes too. And it is what it is. So two things are true at the same time. Yes, there's a history of targeting black leaders and then local media monetizing the whole ordeal. And then culturally, people getting right behind it and just shaking their little pom-poms and being a cheerleader for all of it. We know that. However, that don't give black people a pass to commit crimes. I'm just saying. Where they do that at? So I don't know. Going back to J. Raj, I don't know if this shit is true or not. To me, it's just an allegation from the government. They haven't proved their case. I don't believe, have they? Hold on, let me go to the story here again. Let me try to read this because maybe I'm missing something here. And if I'm missing something, I'm missing something. Owner of the former Cameo nightclub pleads guilty to federal gun and tax crimes. So what does that mean? That means he pled guilty. So let me fix my flow a little bit. Let me update it and correct it. If the brother pled guilty, then he pled guilty. Now, do we know that the system can railroad people? Absolutely. Absolutely. The jails, the history books, fuck, Hollywood. Netflix is full of true stories that have been, fictionalized and in some cases, just put on film. Netflix is part of stories. Reuben Hurricane Carter, the list goes on and on and on. At least once or twice a month, primarily a black man is exonerated from death row because of, efforts being put out there. So we know that black people can get railroaded. We know that. I have to look into the particulars of the case. If he pled guilty, there must be a reason why. They might have made him an offer he couldn't refuse. So let me fix my flow here, just to make sure to be current to what we're hearing. The news reports is that he pled guilty on Thursday to some situations that, he'd been dealing with for a while. One is not underreporting his taxes by $100,000. And the other is a gun charge. Apparently, J. Raj was a felon, barred from owning or possessing a firearm. And from what I'm reading, it looks like he was found with a firearm. $36,000 that the IRS didn't get, according to U.S. Attorney Vipul Patel. And this goes back to some issues he had in 2017 and 2018. In 2017, J. Raj shut down Cameo and surrendered the club's liquor license. 2 people were killed in a shooting at the nightclub. That was back in 2017. It seems so far ago. And J. Raj is the owner of a couple things, that are still going on. You got the establishments down at downtown Cincinnati, right? You got the Treehouse Patio Bar, right? And, a lot of people remember J. Raj from Mix, and one of the first black-owned businesses that was down there. And I remember hearing there was another POC-owned business called Dream that was not too far from Mix, like across the street and down the alley. And I used to rock with the owner. I used to do a live show from Dream every Friday. It was fun. It was fun for a while. And got a chance to know the owner. And he used to tell me about how some of the association down there was putting like a lot of pressure on him. He felt like they didn't want a person of color to be an owner in a business downtown. Is J. Raj dealing with that? Has he dealt with that? Probably so. Is that a part of it? I don't know. Grasson writes, fix your flow. Yes, I had to fix my flow. Ronald writes, dream was the spot. Yes. Dream with dreams come true, right? We used to do relationship panel. It was a lot of fun. Nat writes, they focus on small money while the Trumps of the world get away scot-free, shaking my head. Right. They're focusing on small shit while Trump's been doing big shit. So listen, folks, that is my time. I know the show was abbreviated because we had some technical difficulties. I can't wait to circle back around and figure out what actually happened. And don't forget, the Is It Just Me podcast is coming up next at 12:30 p.m. Check it out. Donnie is back after a little bit of a hiatus. And listen, thank you so much for rocking with me and making that transition over to YouTube. I really appreciate it. Let's leave it like this, man. It's the weekend, but the motto remains the same. Our posture is still the same, and it goes like this. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivy, and I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a